5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, welcome to the Kalimdor Cup Advanced races and the reverse races. This is Winterspring. Starting here at Winterspring just because that's where I left off when I finished the normal races. Couple things that I want to keep in mind here. Use your mouse to turn and just use 1 and 2, which is surge forward and skyward ascent. I'm going to interchange surge forward, which is 1, and sky ascent, which is 2, when I'm talking about how to do things in this video. So basically, if I say 1, that means surge forward. If I say 2, that means skyward ascent. The Winterspring Advanced is not too difficult. You just have to worry about making sure you have enough vigor to do this skyward ascent. You'll get a green ball there, so you should be good. Something to note, when I hit that ring, I actually hit that ring at the top, so you don't actually have to go through the middle, only if you're trying to grab one of these vigor balls like I just did. And right there at the end, you just do a little surge forward or a skyward ascent, either one, to get it. This reverse one, I didn't really do it correctly, but I'll still walk you through it. So let's go. You can see I kind of hit the ground there when I started, and there's a sharp turn coming up right here that I almost missed. I don't know how, I just got real lucky. Should have used a skyward ascent there. Should be fine though. If you're doing it, make sure you use skyward ascent. If you have to go up, if your next checkpoint is like really far up, do it. Otherwise just use 1, surge forward. So for this one, really it's pretty straightforward. You just have to go through the rings and make sure that you don't hit any of the trees. There's not really that many obstacles in reverse. And typically what I've found is that reverse is actually easier than advanced in a lot of these races. So you'll find that as soon as you finish an advance, you should start a reverse, just because you already know the layout and you can kind of work it backwards in your head and you kind of know what to look out for. So I would recommend doing an advance, getting gold, and then immediately trying to do reverse. Yeah, this one was fairly close. I was I was pretty tight there within 0.03 seconds, so you know, there's a few things I would have changed there. This is Fellwood. This is a pain in the butt. This is probably one of the biggest pains in the butt in the northern part of Kalimdor. Coming up here is a really slow part. As much as you want to use 1 to go fast, right there's a green blob under the bridge, which you need to grab in order to get the time. So I would actually slow down to grab the green blob like I just did here in the video. Then otherwise it's pretty straightforward. You're just trying to go through the rings here until you get to the construction site. That is the biggest pain. So there are periods here where you will have to go slowly, like right through those trees. I would go slowly. There's a little gap there. Skyward ascent 2. Here you got to slow down through these. Go through them as smoothly as possible without hitting any of the obstacles. There's a construction thing right here. Watch out for that. You can see how I avoided that, and watch out for that one as well. But yeah, I made it within 0.3, less than 0.3 seconds, so it's very tight on that one. Now this is the reverse. Reverse just means that you end up going through the construction site first. So if you mess this up, you can always just stop and redo it, because it's right there in the beginning, and most of the rest of it is just going through it normally. So very tricky. Just make sure you navigate. And again, you don't have to go through the middle of the rings, especially if it doesn't have a vigor ball. Just go through the top. If it does have a vigor ball, you kind of have to aim it a little bit, but just otherwise just hit the top of the ring if you need to avoid an obstacle. That's one of the main things I think that, you know, is the difference between getting silver and gold, is making sure that you just clip the top of the ring if you have to do that to avoid an obstacle. that makes all the difference, at least speaking experientially. So my main goal here is to just get as much vigor as possible and just search for it as much as possible. You see I've missed a vigor ball. That's okay though, because I will make this in reasonable time. I actually beat it by 1.5 seconds. So reverse is, like I'm saying, my reverse is just easier than advance for some reason. I don't know. This is Mount Hyjal. Literally have nothing to say to you about Hyjal. This is by far the easiest course. I managed to do normal, advanced, and reverse, all gold, on the first try on this one. So literally just go through the rings. You can use Surge Forward if you want to. You can use Skyward Ascent. Either one will work, honestly. I think I just Surge Forward through all of these because I was just kind of semi-clowning around, and it's not really needed. You're not really gaining that much elevation with Skyward Ascent here, so... And you can see I beat it by nearly 1.5 seconds.
May the flights protect us.
Again, reverse is just as easy, if not easier, than the advanced, so I wouldn't even worry about it. This one was actually hard when I first did it, so it may take a few tries just because this is the first one that has non-native obstacles, as I like to call it, these little floating orange balls. You want to avoid those as much as possible. I use Surge Forward there. I would rather have used Skyward Ascent. Trying to avoid. Again, I would have used 2 there instead of 1. Major slowdown here, but you kind of pick up speed towards the end. There you go, I beat it by nearly a second, even though I goofed up a few things.
Welcome you.
Don't know why I used 2 there. You just need to use 1. Here you need to use 2. 2 gives you a lot of speed because you basically flap 3 times with the dragon. Don't know why I used 2 there, you just need 1. And I finished within 0.6 seconds. So, little bit of room for improvement there. So if you see mine and you're not getting it, just do your best and make those adjustments. Ashenvale is by far the worst one in the northern part, because you'll see. You can hit the top of that hut when you go through it. And if you're not carrying this much speed when you start, you're not going to make it, so just restart. You have to carry a lot of speed through that. Watch out for this tree. Use 2 here. Clip the top of that because otherwise you're going to hit something and you're going to fall off. Don't ask me how. Or go ahead and ask me. I've done it a trillion zillion times. This part is fun. You can just zoom through that. Hit the top of this. You kind of lose vigor here, but you're carrying enough speed that it kind of offsets. And as you will see, I beat the time by quite a bit of a margin here. So I beat it by nearly 1.5 seconds, which was a lot more than what I was getting. I think the best time before that was like 59.1. That took me 20 minutes, 26 minutes to do. That was by far one of the hardest ones, because I just kept clipping into things. Reverse is relatively easier. The only thing I would say is that you need to use 2 a lot. And just remember that you're using 2 in the spots where you were going downhill, so... clip the top of that, otherwise you will hit that little statue thing and you're gonna lose momentum. Use Skyward Ascent 2 right here, and then just go for it. Yeah, so I beat it by a second, but it took a while. It took a while of trying. That is by far the hardest one in the northern part of Kalimdor. This is Stonetalon Mountains. I literally have nothing to say about Stonetalon. You could mess up a couple of things here and there and still get gold. This is one of the easiest ones. It's about as easy as Mount Hyjal, but Mount Hyjal is still the easiest, so... I'm gonna shut up now and you guys can just enjoy this part. So you can see I beat this by a lot, actually. Nearly, what, 7 seconds? 8 seconds? I don't even know, whatever. I can't math. 7 seconds. It was a lot.
The waters flow again.
Reverse is the same thing. You will beat it by a lot. I think I even mess up in this, and I beat it by a lot. So that one was a little closer, about 0.8 seconds.
I never gave up hope.
Desolace Advanced. I think I actually got it on the first try. Could be wrong about that, but couple of notes for Desolace here. Mostly for reverse. So you go down here. So on reverse, that means you'll come up. So just remember that. At the end, you need to use 2 to climb up, because you'll be at the end. So you gotta be really careful. These cliffs are very tight. You can either try to go through the middle like I did, or hit the tops of the things, which is what I did in reverse. I think I clipped the top of that statue thing, or whatever you want to call it, that monument. And so I kind of slowed down a little bit here, but I still make time. So I think they give you one slight slowdown there for momentum, but I have hit it harder than that and lost all my momentum, and then you don't get gold, obviously. You can also hit the ground there, so got to be very careful when you're grabbing that vigor. Take it slow through here because the cliffs are very tight, and then Skyward Ascent 2. And you'll beat it by 1.5 second, 1 second, 0.2. So with reverse, you're going to see a different Drake than the one I used before. That's because I lost the footage when I was doing reverse originally, and then I got the, whatever this Drake is called, I forgot. So I decided to redo it for your guys' sake, for the sake of uniformity. But yeah, when you're going through in reverse, those initial cliffs you got to go through very slowly. There's a vigor ball that's low to the ground. You will hit the ground if you go too low, so you got to be really careful. Just readjust. You don't need to Skyward Ascent for that. You can just surge forward. Here, just hit the tops of the circles. You don't have to go through the middle, except for this one, which has a vigor ball in it. I'm slowing down here because I'm trying to save my vigor for this. So I'm going to use 2 here to zoom up really fast. If you don't do that, you will not make time. But I beat this by a significant amount, almost 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds. So it's doable. There's a lot of glitches here and there. This is another pain in the butt. Feralas is not easy. Especially in reverse. This might be one of the ones where the reverse is actually harder than the advanced. So main things to note here are the trees will clip you, so you have to avoid those trees. Even the little branches could potentially trip you and slow down your momentum. It's otherwise straightforward, except for a few parts which I will talk about. I would have used 2 there maybe, but you carry a lot of momentum, so who knows. I kind of slow down here because of that tree and that tree. So you just got to be a little bit careful there and there. That was kind of a tight turn. Go through the middle of that monument there and that one as well. Because you can't really clip the top without hitting the monument. And I finished that within 1.1 seconds. And you can see I nodded in approval there.
We serve once more.
So reverse was so hard I actually came on a different day, like 4 or 5 days later, to come and do this. Because first of all it was just late, and second of all I just needed a break. Cut the middle there, otherwise you will never carry enough momentum. Same with that one. You have to carry this much momentum through this, otherwise reset. You're not going to make it. I wish they had a little speedometer that you can, like, see your speed. Coming up, when you go through Dire Maul, save a Vigor so you can do a Skyward Ascent. So you can see I don't do Search Forward, and I do a Skyward Ascent here. Save a Vigor here so you can do Skyward Ascent again. Save another Vigor here. Well, you don't really need to. You pick up a Vigor Ball so you can do 2 again, Skyward Ascent. Now the trees. Just be kind of careful not to hit a tree here. I've done that too many times. Some of the leaves are okay, but still. You just want to be careful. .33. So this one's pretty straightforward. My only recommendation is don't miss any of the green Vigor balls. You pretty much don't have to use 2. You're pretty much just going to be surging forward the entire time with 1. Some tricky bits are right here. Surge forward through that so your wings don't clip the side of the cliff. Avoid the whirlpools. If that needs to be said, then you shouldn't be doing the races. Avoid obstacles. I think I barely make this one because I made a couple of small mistakes there. Lost some momentum. The timing on this is very tight for this one, both advance and reverse. Yeah, I did that by 0.4 of a second there, so...
Aspect's grace shine down on you.
Don't think you can avoid that first whirlpool. I'm not really sure. I think I hit that. Who knows? I think I end up missing a Vigor Ball here. That one's really tight. Yeah, see, I missed the Vigor Ball. That's fine. Still make time. And I hit that whirlpool. Whatever. I don't know if I called this Stonetalon. If I did by mistake, I apologize. I meant Thousand Needles. I have played this game, I promise. Hopefully I didn't call it Stonetalon. So less than 0.3 basically, so both were 0.3. This one sucks worse in reverse.
I have lived to...
There are a few things to talk about here. So in advance, it's mostly normal. You're going to be really playing a lot with both 1 and 2 here. You're going to use 2 right now. And then there's going to be bits here where you're going to be going a little bit slowly through like long segments where they just don't give you a Vigor Ball at all. There's There's probably better ways to do it, but I didn't want to try and find a more optimal solution. I just wanted to get gold and go away. See, so I slow down there. Here I'm going to use 2. I think if you don't use 2, you will get silver. If you do 1 there. Gotta use 2 again, and you're gonna be using 1, I think, for the last bit here. Because then it drops down towards the finish line. Within 0.5 seconds. It's tight. And you can see I failed the reverse one, that's why I cut here. You're gonna use 2 Skyward Ascents here, so 2 number 2s. And I think I just hit spacebar twice for that. Could be wrong. But you really need to lift up for the first checkpoint. Clip the top of this. I would have skyward ascended there, but I didn't have any vigor. So you may want to adjust for your own run. I suddenly gain a lot of momentum there. Don't know why. All I'm doing is surging forward like normal. I use 2 here, and I'm pretty sure you need to use a 2 at the end there. Yeah. It just gives you a lot more momentum, and I finished within 0.4 seconds. Pretty tight. This one, Uldum. If you can't see this race, by the way, you have to go and talk to Nosdormi, or whatever her name is, and set it back to Cataclysm days, rather than the BFA days. Advanced isn't too bad in the beginning. There are a few things you gotta avoid, like those trees and the buildings. Not too difficult, but it gets worse later in the race. So keep that in mind, because in reverse, that'll be at the start of the race. Use a 2 here. Slow down through these monuments here, because you gotta go around this palm tree and then zigzag a little bit. So unless you're very good with your controls, I would just kind of slow down there. Use 2 here. I used it twice just because I wanted to grab that extra vigor ball. You could probably get away with doing it once. Your mileage may vary. Not gonna lie, I kind of skilled that, because in reverse I had such a tough time navigating through those buildings. So in advance I kind of just like skilled through it. And you can see I killed the time. I killed this time. Reverse was actually harder for me. So you're gonna start off by going through those buildings that I really skillfully went through in advance, and I never use 3. I use 3 here for some reason. Don't know why. It got me gold. I would not recommend it. It uses too much of your vigor. You lose too much of your whatever for a modest amount of momentum. You're going to use 2 here to get yourself enough momentum to get into the cave. And then the rest is just normal. So just that initial segment, if you hit a building, you are going to fail it, and you're not going to get silver or gold. You're going to get either silver or bronze. Things happen. Just reset it. Hit the little clock icon to the right of the quest bar there, and you'll reset and start all over. .225 seconds. Not a lot of time. Reverse is very tight. So unless you can zigzag through those obstacles really well, it's hard. Ungoro Crater, nothing needs to be explained. It's just long, follow the circles, avoid the trees. It's fairly straightforward. I actually got these within like about 2 or 3 tries. Not even that hard. Little bit tight on the timing, but it's doable.
Hope.
I had to use 2 there. I don't know why I used 1. That was a mistake. Still get gold. All of this is gold, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but... think I hit the stone block there. Should be fine. So yeah, I do this one within 3 seconds, so I mean, reverse is way easier for Ungoro. Oh boy, Razorfen, what can I say about this piece of crap level? There's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of thorns. You're going to lose momentum. You're going to hit stuff. You're going to reset a lot. Use 2 there, and then you're going to be in the outside world. It's going to be fine here, except once you get back into the thorny regions. Slow down through this as best as you can, because you can easily clip that. It's a pain. You can see I've lost a bit of my momentum, because I think I may have clipped something there. But only lightly. If you clip it hard, you will lose all your momentum. You can't get gold. So not only is it full of obstacles, the timing is also slightly tight there. I managed to beat this within 1.2 seconds. So I got lucky, but it took me a while. Now reverse. Oh boy. Reverse. You gotta do a 2 here to get up into the air, but then you gotta really slow down when you go down, because they decided for some stupid reason to put a vigor ball really close to the thorns and to the floor, really. So you can see I managed to grab that vigor ball, but I can't tell you the number of times I had to attempt that in order to not hit the ground and lose all my momentum. Because if you do that, you're not gonna get gold. That's just how it works. So slow down through that, grab the vigor ball, it takes a few tries. I clipped that, you just saw that. I will make time, but if I hit it any harder, I thought I was going to get silver here, but if I hit any harder than that, I would have definitely gotten silver. So I made that in less of a gap, so that was 1.3 seconds. Now, this Barrens run, I literally don't have to explain anything. It's pretty straightforward. It's very easy to get gold in both advance and reverse. I got them both on my first try. Just avoid the orange blobs as best as you can. And yeah, just follow the path. There's nothing to say. So I beat it within 3.6 seconds, so there you go.
We serve once more.
And I immediately went into reverse. Pretty much the same as advance. Very easy to do. I think I even messed this up, but I still got gold because the gap is... They're very lenient with this one, let me just put it that way. The only thing of note here is that you will have to do a 2 at the end, because you're low down to the ground and the final checkpoint is up in the air. So within 0.12 seconds. Yeah. Durotar Advanced is fine, except for things like that where I actually messed up and I had to reset it. I left that in there just because, first of all, it's funny that I just failed right from the start, but two, so you can get a glimpse into how failure and resetting looks. You have to carry momentum through this. Clip the top of these. Go slowly through this area. Clip the tops. It's going to make you do a wild turn right here. Practice that as many times as possible, and then you'll get it right. This is the part that stinks so much. All these trees, if you graze them, you will lose all your momentum. It stinks. It really, really stinks. Because they'll have branches that you can't see, and then you'll fly into it, and then you'll lose all your momentum, and then you won't even get silver. It's a pain. It's worse in reverse. See, I clipped through those trees, and I lost momentum. At least they give you a little bit of leeway on the time for the advance. Still managed to have enough momentum to carry myself forward here. But we will talk about this in reverse. Oh my god. I might have to put in a compilation of all my failures for this one, but... yeah, so I managed to finish this one with plenty of time. They give you plenty of leeway for the advance. The advance is easy. Now reverse. Oh boy. Okay, reverse. You have to go through the stupid trees right from the jump. So, right after you go through the Tiragarde Keep Castle area, You know, just avoid all this, carry as much momentum as possible, get as much momentum as possible. Once you get to the trees, my top tip is to go as wide as you possibly can. So, like, you have to go in for those rings, but go wide otherwise to avoid the trees. So, like I did there, just went wide. You don't want to go too far out, obviously, but, like, just avoid the trees. Especially here. Grab this green vigor ball, go slowly through this, hit that ring, and then just find the gap. This one is even worse. Somehow managed to find that gap after so many tries of failing, and just... ugh. You just want to go slowly through that. Do not carry too much momentum in that, otherwise you will clip a tree and then you'll lose it. Watch out for that headstone. This 2 right there gave me so much momentum. That was a clutch 2 right there. You're gonna have to use it again for the ending here. And I managed to do it within 0.3 seconds. Imagine the timing on that is absolutely insane. This one is horrible because they give you a little green vigor ball that's right next to the edge of this platform, so you will hit that platform if you don't do it right. So if you're not carrying this much momentum when you get to the tracks here, you're not going to make it just reset. That first vigor ball is absolutely dog water. I don't understand why they put it there. It's absolutely horrible. But thankfully this is now the last region that we have to do anything on, so not too much to say here. I think you get the gist of it now. Avoid obstacles. There is a segment on the water that I will have to talk about, but here it's just like grab the vigor balls, avoid the train track as much as possible, or the rocket track rather, and just carry enough momentum here. You're gonna hit the water pretty soon, and here you're gonna double up on your number 1s. So hit a 1 there. Now you have 2 vigor, so you're gonna double up right there. Double, double, double. And I kill this time. That took a lot of time, especially that first vigor ball is a pain in the ass. Just be wary of that.
Trials have awakened.
Reverse isn't as bad. There's a long stretch through the water where the momentum is kind of slow. Just do the best you can with surging forward. Careful not to hit the water. That will obviously slow you down or stop you completely. Double up on your surge forwards as you did before. You don't need to skyward ascent there, but it may help you. Follow the train tracks, the rocket track, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. You know what it is. The monorail. You can see in some of those segments there, I slowed down. You'll find out which parts you'll feel like you need to slow down versus speeding up through. You'll get used to it once you run the track yourself. Ignore that vigor ball and just surge forward and you'll make it. You're done. Good job. Congratulations. Hope this helped you. Take care.